Yes, two-time Super Bowl champions. Two-time.
Oh, yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Unbelievable.
Now it's real. Now it's official.
Yeah. That was a total beatdown.
What an incredible game. Welcome to our Super Bowl edition of This Fan's View.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited or what?
Absolutely.
Maybe not as excited as you.
I'm still coming out of my skin because I thought, in 17, I would never see another one. And it just, that one seemed, so surreal because it took 50 years and took so long. And, it really brought a lot of people's lives together, that, families were just brought together by all of this. And now here we are, right? Here we are celebrating again. I mentioned it in the store today. The Birds scored 95 points in their last two games.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thunk? I mean, to put a beat down on the Washington Commanders and then put an insulting beat down on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah, they had no answers. I mean, it was
they really didn't. They really didn't. And I don't know if you guys caught any of it. I've made a lot of little notes just on different things that I've been picking up on. But Jeff Stoutland went for a walk last night out into the neighborhood during the snowstorm. And he tweeted out to Eagles fans, how excited he was and happy he was for the fans and, what a season it was. And I just thought.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. You saw it, John?
I did. Yeah.
Lauren, I don't know. Did you have a chance to catch it?
No, I didn't see that. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I don't follow him on Twitter, but no, I hadn't seen that.
It was just another one of those heartfelt, just, man, we appreciate the guy, but nobody really knows the guy. We hear about the players, the offensive linemen talking about him all the time. And, for him to put it out there was very, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, but just, it's been little things like that. Just all the interviews with all the players that, different, here, there, and everywhere. Jimmy Fallon last night, had the QB and the running back, and all the offensive linemen. So I thought that was just, I had to eat a lot of chocolate last night to stay up late. So, yeah, outstanding.
That's why the bucket's empty in the refrigerator here?
No. I got my here. No, I'm good. But just an incredible season, and we've talked about it every week, going all the way back to preseason, and why they weren't going to play the regulars for 4 games, and how we were going to start the season, and the season starts at 2-2, and everybody's in a pissed off mood, and we're calling out the coach, we're calling out the coordinator, and how many games did we lose after the week off?
One
loss.
Yeah.
Pretty damn incredible.
But the only time we lost was when Jalen Hurts got hurt.
Jalen got hurt in Washington, exactly. Yeah.
The only thing I was disappointed about in the Super Bowl was just the down 5 years, 10 years from now, people will look back and be like, "Oh, this was a closer Super Bowl than it actually was," and that they got all those garbage points at the end there. Because it was 34-0 at one point. It was
34-0 going into the third quarter.
Yeah,
what I mean.
And it was a total beatdown. And if Brian would have stayed in this spot there at Buffalo Wild Wings, they wouldn't even have scored. Scored that 7 points. He pissed me off a little bit by moving.
That's amazing.
Well, because it was like 5 minutes after I said they're not even going to score this game. They didn't even get past midfield at that point, and he has to move out of his spot because he had to go stand in front of the bar, and like Lauren said, nothing happens good out in that spot there. And,
No.
It was they scored, and that would have looked like a genius if saying that they wouldn't have scored in that game with almost a quarter left to go.
You're still looking like a genius.
But yeah, no, that was a hell of a beatdown. I mean, it was everything you expected, from this team. And that was kind of the things we were talking about, being disappointed, throughout the year, like to not see that kind of a game, every game, just that because we knew that they had that kind of talent, offensively, and for that not to be shown. And like we said, ever since we talked at Applebee's that day, talking about scoring 40 points, they did it, and they stepped up at the big times, and you got to give kudos to Sirianni for growing up, over this whole off, after I think it was Cleveland game week 6 after the bye, the 2 weeks after the bye when he's arguing with the fans, and he really matured, and he's becoming more of a likable guy, actually. I don't know if it's because of the Super Bowl, but I mean just the way he's talking, and you see the how he's got the guys growing and coming together. It's
well, if you listen to a lot of the interviews and whatnot, they give the coach a whole lot of credit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They have a lot of respect, and there's a lot of credit, coming off of, and I take this back to last year, during the meltdown,
mm-hmm.
And the whole team I think has matured,
yeah,
and being a young team. But before we go any further, the closest one to the pin for the score was Lauren at 31-21. So I just wanted to.
Sweet.
So
wow, look at that.
Yeah. So
what did I win? The Brandon Graham jersey or the Kelsey?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Thank you.
We'll get you a Super Bowl pennant, but we just had to announce our closest to the pin. So
all right,
there you go.
Thank
you. Yeah. So just a whole lot of things happened. When you stop and think about it, and you stop and break down, the changes, as far as coaching changes and player changes, and the young draft picks that were brought in. The two that we keep going back to are Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And really, not for anything, and I'm not gonna say Cooper DeJean's the savior, but this defense really came alive, when he went into the starting lineup.
Yeah, you're right. That's
there just were a lot of just good individual play that the defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, put out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this his first Super Bowl, right?
This is, yes.
So
since 1986, he's been coaching in the NFL.
A lot of firsts here. A lot of firsts here in Philadelphia, but there's one thing that's two-time Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep, exactly. So, they set a record. They set a record for the most points in the playoffs scored.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you go back, to the offseason when we signed, Saquon Barkley, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, was ecstatic over that move, to go along with the pieces that we already had, and then, how he goes and trades for Johan Dotson and brings him in.
Yeah.
And he don't get much action, but when he does, he makes them credible catches and makes plays.
Yeah. It's a tough thing, for him being in his spot when you got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on as the other two guys as well. But yeah, like you said, when it's time for him to step up, he definitely did.
But speaking of Devontae Smith, John, what did you think about that nice long pass that Jalen dropped in his bucket, for that touchdown?
Were you talking with Tyler?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of footnotes. I got questions. I'm just rehashing the game, the season. I don't take it personal.
No. The only reason I said that because I told Tyler, I said, if you're going to nitpick, it was about a yard short, the pass.
Oh, Johnny.
I knew you would find fault somewhere on the 1 yard line.
But I mean, otherwise it was a beautiful. I mean, it was a beautiful pass because it was completed and everything. But one more yard would have been more beautiful. But no, it was a beautiful pass. It was a perfect time. Right after they stopped them on fourth down with the Levante Maddox there with knocking it down and basically sealing the game. As well. And then for him to get Devontae Smith. Because I think they were saying, wasn't Devontae Smith from that area, if I'm not mistaken?
He was he grew up 45 minutes outside
right.
of New Orleans.
Right. So, for him to get it in his hometown and Jalen really wanted to get him the ball. And he said, because they had a little thing I saw him and Devontae Smith, hugging afterwards and talking to him and, just telling him he loves him and, that you needed that one, for being in the hometown there and stuff. So, no, Jalen had a lot of good passes. He's now the leading most accurate passer in Super Bowl history. So,
wow,
wow,
give him the flowers, Johnny. Give him the flowers.
I mean, but a couple of short passes. I mean, they were completed, but they were. Saquon Barkley's was a little bit short. Lead them out there. Dotson's. I mean, somebody could have made like I think they said it was like $150,000 if he would have led Dotson there for the touchdown instead of having it just a little bit short there. But but that guy's a man. That's the Eagles' offense. It's what it seems like. There's a wall at the goal line there, so Jalen gets the tush pushes. But that everything stops at the 1 yard line. But no, it was.
What did Saquon say last night on the Jimmy Fallon show? I get the
easiest job.
I get to push the tush.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets to push the tush, and he had the easiest job in the world right there for that job. And yeah, I mean, this team was, like you said, it came great for the defense. I mean, the defense,
right.
Took it over. And saying that it's not a negative, or anything towards, Jalen, as far as the defense dominated. I mean, Jalen had a perfect game, himself, and it was we did. Yes, we did.
Everybody, all three phases of the game, everybody, made plays.
Yeah, Jake Elliott was perfect.
Jake Elliott had a big say in the matter. He made every kick.
Well, he set the record too, with the most points in Super Bowl history. So,
yep.
There's a lot. Like you said, Saquon Barkley went with got the 30 yards rushing that he needed to break the record for all-time rushing yards in a season, including the playoffs. So, I mean, there was a lot of history, that was there. The Cooper DeJean.
I've never seen Jalen smile and laugh and be just on board with everything. He just kind of let the emotions go.
That was the best part of the whole thing is, seeing that, because that I kind of thought that was also part holding him back a little bit, even though it was driving him in his thinking. I kind of thought that was holding him back a little bit. And,
did you guys catch the interaction between Saquon and Jalen on the sidelines? Saquon goes over and he says something to the effect of, are you going to smile now or something like that? And Jalen responds back, not till it hits 0.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that pushes him, drives him.
I think he spent so much time trying to defend himself over the years.
Yeah.
Ever since, being drafted,
Iverson's being really benched at the Alabama for Tua.
Well, he's just spent a lot of time defending himself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now he's out there. He's got the ring. He's got the MVP. He's in the conversation with all the big boys now.
Right. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's great for the city. It's just great for him to see that he can now let his emotions show and be the person that he really wants to be.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm really curious to see that contagious smile on Friday at the parade and the celebratory. I don't think he's much of a drinker, so I don't think he's going to be throwing them back like a lot of the players do. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the whole team, all the first time guys. The young guys that just rolled out of college, you know what I mean? The free agents that came here and, were tossed aside. And I'm talking about Zach Braun from the Saints. I mean, to see his career, just get flipped just like that. And I say it all the time. It's all about the system, right?
Right.
It's all about the system and the way these players are put into positions to make plays. And I mean, gosh, he's always in the right spot. You talk about a ball hog.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
So
I mean, for him to have that pick at the right before halftime there, laying horizontal to the ground, and to pick that off, and I mean that was really the nail in the coffin right there. At that point in the game, because you thought if Kansas City,
you're 24-0 at halftime, and
right,
and you know what I mean. You're thinking, okay, we got to kick off, right? They're going to get the ball. We're thinking, they're going to drive down, they're going to score, they're going to go for 2, they're going to score 8, they're going to, for the next 4 drives, they're going to score, right? Because that's what the Chiefs do, right? Yeah. But no, because the defense, we had their foot on their throat, and Patrick was running all day.
Oh yeah,
he was running all day.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see, and
Lauren, what stood out to you? I know you always have little pieces and parts of different things, but what stood out to you in the game? I mean, as far as we all agreed, it was total domination. But what, as a female football fan, you know what I mean? And you were the closest to the pin. So you obviously, beat out 3 guys. Mm-hmm. So, what were you thinking? What did you see?
I just wanted Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown. That's all I wanted.
Right.
No, there were so many things though. There's not one thing that I can say like that was my favorite part. There were so many really good things. It was the perfect storm that resulted in what we saw on Sunday I've never seen a defense play like that before. 3 and out over and over and over again. It wasn't the offense, the Chiefs offense was like barely ever on the field. Up until like maybe halfway through the 3rd quarter and then a little bit of the 4th, they were barely ever out there. The offense scored 40 points, but the defense they say defense wins championships. And I think that was a perfect example of how that can come to fruition, because that game could have gotten away from us. That game could have become the meltdown game that we were all dreading. That could have very well happened, but it didn't. It was like they were like a brick wall. And I felt like the entire team just played with the biggest chip on their shoulder.
Yep, 100%.
There was no stopping that team. There was no – I watched a lot of Super Bowl games in my lifetime. not many that the Eagles have been in. And I just don't really remember ever watching a team dominate quite like that. And I mean, frankly, they shouldn't, because it should be the top two powerhouses of the NFL. So it shouldn't be such a dominant performance, but they just, I mean, there was no stopping them. You know, I now my question is like, I don't know how to be a fan of a dynasty football team. I don't know this. I haven't quite got acclimated to this situation just yet.
It's a different culture.
Well, because you grow up, you know, and you hear Philadelphia fans, blue collar, you know, we work hard, we're gritty, we're all these things. But now you're telling me we have a football team that might make a run for, I don't know, the next 5 years? I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to be a fan that doesn't have our back against the wall and we come out swinging every time. So I've never been in a position where we were supposed to win and we did. The Phillies for the last 3 years were supposed to win and they didn't. The Eagles were supposed to win in 2023 and they didn't. The Eagles were supposed to make it a lot further in the playoffs last year and they didn't. That's the Philly sports fan I know how to be, the disappointed one. But now I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be a dynasty football fan. What does that look like? I mean, 2-time Super Bowl champion with 2 different coaches, 2 different quarterbacks, almost a completely different team. Only 4 of those guys are repeat champions. I mean, it's almost a completely different team. And so I think, you know, you want to pinpoint the coordinators who obviously did a great job. You want to pinpoint the coach who obviously did a great job and the players themselves. But I think at the end of the day, you have to give every ounce of credit to Howie Roseman, who put this team together, 8 years after we won and rebuilt. There was no rebuild process. We were good every year. We were decent every year. There wasn't like a lackluster year in there. And then all of a sudden, here you are, 2025, and you just won a Super Bowl again. It's just, I mean, there's just so many things that happened on Sunday and happened this season that there was a lot of different hands that factored into that win.
Yeah, it's, you know, you bring up a lot of great points and you broke it down like a true fan.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, we came on here week after week after week and, you know, we talked about, you know, probably more of the negative things that were going on and not the positive things because, you know, we were always right. Yeah.
Well, that's my point is I don't know how to be a positive fan. I don't know how to look at this Eagles team and think dynasty or elite or, you know, this team is going to make a run, but there's no reason that they shouldn't. You know, the thing, when you look back at all the shows we've done this whole Eagles season, even Anthony talked about, like, they should be dominating. You know, they're winning by 3 points. They're barely, you know, are you confident? Are you feeling good? And every week it was like, no, not really, but we're just happy to win. No, not really, but, you know, we did it. And then it was like somebody flipped on a switch in that Washington game. And all of a sudden, everything just clicked all at the same time. And then you're like, oh, is that going to carry over to the Super Bowl? I don't know. How are these rookies going to play? You know, is Jalen really the real deal? You know, they're going to shut Saquon down. What's that going to do to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? And, you know, the defense, you know, you have a banged up Brandon Graham. And then everything just clicked. And it was like every worry you had all season just like melted away with each convincing play. And then by the end of it, you know, they're going into halftime and it's 24-0. And you're just like, holy shit. Like this might actually happen. And I'm not a bundle of nerves like you were in 2018, because that boiled down to a Hail Mary pass from Tom Brady, who is the best guy you want throwing a Hail Mary pass. and you didn't know what was going to happen, and no one catches it, and we win. But this was like, I almost didn't even realize the game was over.
Yeah.
Because they had already like kneeled, and they were just winding the clock down, and then you're just like, oh shit, that's it, we won. And it was just a completely different experience. But yeah, I mean, it was, I just go back to, I don't know how to be this fan. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'll take the problem all day long.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be a fan of a team that's actually considered one of the elite teams.
Well, yeah, and again, that was an excellent breakdown of pretty much the whole season. But I think now we move into that class, right, John? We move into that class where the Eagles. I don't know if we get the total respect that we deserve, because I think they already have the Chiefs slotted right back in the Super Bowl next year.
Right, they do,
like as if this past Sunday was a total fluke. You know what I mean? And they're still not giving the defense the credit that that they deserve. But Birds fans, I mean, come on, you gotta admit, I mean, through and through, they traveled to New Orleans, and again, sea of green, right? They took over the stadium.
Yeah, they said it was 80. I think it was like 80% Eagles.
Sea of green. And Jeff Stoutland talked about that last night in his little piece that he did on Twitter. And he said, I've never seen a fan base that was so involved.
Yeah. And
I just, sometimes, you stop and you think, do the fans hear you? Do the coaches see you? Do we, are the fans really, that much of a positive influence? And then, then we catch a bunch of shit because we booed, because they laid an egg in the first half of whatever game it was. And, the Boo Birds came out. Well, that's what fans do, right?
Yeah.
That's what fans do. You pay a lot of money, to voice your opinion. And it's just been an unbelievable season, and I don't want it to end. Does that make sense? Like I want to celebrate, and I think I was listening to another interview with Jordan Mailata, and he said something to the effect where I don't know if I can totally celebrate yet, because I think there's another game Sunday.
Well, that's the part about the Super Bowl. It's like win or lose, it's the last game,
right?
And like that's not like a feeling or something that you expect, because usually the last games you're usually going home losing, type of thing, and because the season's over because you lost, and you won, and it's like, okay, now what? And yeah, it's a special thing, and everybody's they got a lot of guys locked up and young. The offense is locked up for a couple of years. And
well, Lauren brings up the subject of dynasty elite teams.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact number is. I want to say it's 12 free agents possibly.
Yeah, it's around 12 to 15. Yeah.
That can or would walk. That's a big number, coming off of a Super Bowl season. John, have you had time to digest any of it? And who would be the biggest, who would be the biggest name in that group?
Well, you got Sweat and Bond are two of the bigger names.
And Sweat took a pay cut, right, to stay here.
Yes.
Right.
Already.
And Bond signed for cheap because he wanted to come play here.
Yeah, I think he signed for $1.50. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, and don't you think now, I mean, winning obviously makes everybody, happy and in a good mood, but don't you feel like now more than ever, those guys are going to take a pay cut to stay? Because it's not like this team is being held together by guys that are about ready to retire. I mean, this could be a long-lived thing.
I mean, a guy like Bond, I don't know that he takes a pay cut, but I think
he's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid because he's still I think he was only making $1 million. He made more in the bonus for making the Pro Bowl than he did.
He probably got paid more signing autographs in the past couple months.
Well, that too, and but I mean he's going to maybe take a little bit of a discount, but he's still going to get paid a lot more than what he's getting paid, right now. And Josh Sweat, he's another guy. I mean, it's also one of those things too where it's like you already won your Super Bowl. So it's like now it's time to take care of your bank account, I guess. In some guys look eyes, and I don't know if that's the best for the team, but that's how some guys look at it.
Howie's pretty incredible with these cap numbers.
Well, that's the thing, exactly. And how he can do that. I mean, Zach Bond, I don't know that we have to worry about him too much leaving because they could always franchise tag him, for 1 year to get him here because linebackers, although he's going to get a good raise by doing that, he's not getting like $20 million a year in that franchise tag because linebackers are unfortunately underpaid a little bit in football today. Another guy like Kenny Gainwell might be a guy that you'd have to watch out for, potentially losing him because he's good as a backup and also played well on special teams.
Mm-hmm. Those guys seem more replaceable than a Zach Braun or
you're not losing any core guys. Right. You're not losing like a playmaker type person. Those are all great supporting actors, and they're great to have. But I mean, the Kenny Gainwells of the world, no disrespect, are a dime a dozen. You can find another guy that kind of backs up Saquon in the same aspect.
Right.
Or you draft a running back at number 32. You know what I mean?
True.
But I've got a better vision to take care of that 32nd pick. Because I think, you could dangle that to the Browns for Myles Garrett. So what do you think about that, John?
Well, I mean, that would be nice. I mean, it's a piece that you have to see how it goes, and maybe because you're going to have that would replace Sweat pretty easily, right there.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking out loud what you do with that 32nd pick. The luxury of being the last pick in the first round because you won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got a little more flexibility than most. You
do, and it just depends on if they have somebody that they want just to have that extra year of control of the player being the 5-year contract instead of a 4-year for the next.
Or how he packages a couple of seconds with that pick and trades up. You know what I mean? And gets the kid out of Penn State. You know what I mean? The tight end out of Penn State.
Yeah, Zach Warren, that would be nice.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Well, that's the thing. That's the good thing with the way this team is. You can now kind of pick and choose who you need. Instead of I got to draft for need.
Right.
Type of thing. Like you got, the offensive line or the offense is pretty well set. It's the only thing that's going to derail the team is injuries. Which nobody can predict for that, and for the most part, and
where are they at, John, cap wise? I know you're
I think they were a little bit under. The cap's going to go up a lot. I think they were saying it was going to go up $15 or $20 million more again this year. The way TV contracts were going.
And you've got some pieces that you're probably either going to buy out or, get rid of.
You may lose Slay, just because he has a big cap hit, and he had alluded to it as well that that might when he played Washington that might have been his last home game there in Philadelphia, and he realized it. He wants to play another year, but
he could be one of those guys though that you could play with his contract and keep him here. You know what I mean? Just to kind of like what Brandon Graham did last year.
Well, that would be nice, in a way, like you said, because you did have that maybe you somehow get it, restructured.
He's turned into another leader on this defense.
Oh yeah, no, he has. He has.
Who would ever thunk that at the beginning of the season? Darius Slay, a leader on this defense.
Oh yeah, no,
he
seems goofy.
Stepped up.
Right.
He stepped up.
He seems like he might be a goofy guy, but no, when you talk to the players and you hear the other players talk, like a Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, that when Quinyon was here, he said that Slay was, a big influence on him, talking to him and explaining what's going on and how to be a professional and stuff. And, I think you have a lot of that on this team, which is nice. You have that mix. You saw, Lane Johnson, celebrating there with Reed Blankenship on the sideline when Reed was like, almost like he was hyperventilating. He was so excited and couldn't believe that it was there, and that and Lane was coming over to pinch him to let him know that, hey, this is real.
Yeah. And Sean brings up a great comment about Jalen Carter being so locked in, and he just became a beast. Well, you got these young boys, and they're eventually going to have to get paid.
Right.
What I mean? And, there's going to be a lot of these conversations are going to exist for a while.
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean? Not this year, but next year and the year after, especially, if we continue to build on this dynasty and continue to, to put the wins up.
Well, that's the good and bad thing about drafting well, right? You draft well, like they did this year. You're going to have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean going at it, in back-to-back years that they're going to need to get paid. Jordan Davis and Carter, back-to-back years that they're going to be again needing to get paid. So it's like, you're picking your, it's a good problem to have. Let's go, with that. But there you go. Tyler's on there. He wants to know if you rank Hurts as a top 5.
Of course he does. He doesn't even have to answer that.
Top 5 quarterback, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Give me the other 4 that are in that same class that just won a Super Bowl and an MVP. Where'd John go? John
right
Freeze?
No, I'm right here. No, it's how you look at a quarterback. It's like.
Well, they're going to continue. They're going to continue to throw Josh Allen down our throat, and he hasn't won a damn thing. The kid out in San Diego, he's in the conversation. He hasn't won a damn thing. So go on, go ahead.
Well, no, like I keep trying to explain to Tyler, it's a matter of, it's not that he's not a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's the fit thing, but. How would?
Oh, I know he's iffy, Tyler. Trust me. I deal with it a whole lot. Trust me. 6 days a friggin' week.
Yeah,
I know all about it. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Coach.
No. It's like nobody's ever explained it to me when I asked the question. How would these quarterbacks look on this team? Like it's not a knock, and it doesn't mean I'm not knocking Jalen Hurts by saying that. I'm just saying, if you put Josh Allen on this team with all this talent, because they're all getting paid basically the same amount of money, how much better would Josh Allen look? Obviously, you won the Super Bowl. You were 15-3, whatever it was. So record-wise, you're not going to look a little bit different. But how would you look at Josh Allen? Because Josh Allen doesn't have as much talent as this Eagles team does.
He's had talent, though.
He hasn't had the talent.
He hasn't had talent. He's had talent.
He hasn't had the talent.
You go out to San Diego. You go to wherever you want to go. Go wherever you want to go. They've had young wide receivers.
That's not what I'm saying. You don't have
enough. What you're saying?
No, it's not because. No, it's not. I'm asking. You see, everybody wants to skate around it. Nobody wants to answer the question because that's where he's not the top 5. Because if you put a Joe Burrow on this team, Joe Burrow has already been to a Super Bowl. He's lost.
Wait a sec. Who are those 2 receivers in Cincinnati?
I'm not that just the two wide receivers don't matter. Isn't what I'm talking about. It's an offensive line. It's a defense. It's the whole team. Nobody's got the team that the Eagles have. The Eagles are. I told Tyler,
you're fighting. You're in a little baby boat out there in the big water.
Because nobody lets me finish talking.
No, you've been talking all year, and you're one of the guys that wasn't giving Jalen any respect. You weren't giving him any flowers. He couldn't throw this ball. He couldn't throw that ball. Guess what? Guess what? They finally all put it together as a team. Josh Allen, my ass.
Okay.
I told you we don't want to be a dynasty fan.
Josh Allen, my ass. They can't trust me. They're back living in the Jim Kelly days, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
What? Come on. I mean, who else? Who else you got besides Josh Allen?
I just told you, if you put Joe Burrow has no offensive line, and he's putting up those. You put him on this team. You put Josh Allen. You put Joe Burrow. You put Patrick Mahomes on this team. You put and again,
Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to be on this team. He's won 3 Super Bowls and he's got Jason Kelce. So
you're not answering the question though. You're not answering the question, and you're never going to answer the question because it's
well, it's a question you cannot answer.
Yes,
because
it is.
These guys, no, you can't. These guys are on their own teams and they have their own players. They have their own coach, the system. It's a completely different ball game.
So John, what is your argument then? So if you put Josh Allen or Joe Burrows on this team, all of a sudden Jalen isn't a good quarterback?
No, I'm just saying you wouldn't have him as you would have those guys ranked ahead of him. That's all.
Well, they're
right,
still ranked ahead of him.
I don't think the argument is that he's the number 1 quarterback. I think it's just, is he part of the top 5? Do I think Jalen Hurts is the top quarterback in the league? Absolutely not. But I think he's part of the top 5 conversation.
I think he's probably like in the 5 to 10 range. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa. My ass. 5 to 10. Where do you get 10 at? Give me the bottom 5 for Christ's sake.
I'm talking about just
no. You made the comment 5 to 10.
Right. I said as far as
he could be 6 or 7. He doesn't have to be 10.
Right.
All right, so then he could have said top 7. He didn't have to say top 10.
Okay, well, most of the time when you rank these guys, it's top 5, top 10, things like that.
Exactly. It's just that. See, it's a sensitive. Nobody can talk about to, and it's fine.
But John, I view myself as a pretty down to earth. I don't tend to lose my temper too much when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I guess my question is though, why try to make that comparison? Because, I mean, the point can be made that you can never answer that question because you can't put Joe Burrows on this team. You can't put Josh Allen on this team. You can't put Patrick Mahomes on this team because we have a quarterback. So that's a hypothetical situation. It's kind of like, well, what would you do if you won the lottery? Well, I don't know because I didn't win the lottery. I mean, do I think they would have success if they came to this team? Absolutely, because it's surrounded by talent. But I don't think that should then discredit how good Jalen Hurts is.
Oh no, I'm not saying it is that. I'm not trying to discourage Jalen Hurts or diminish him. I'm just saying people. This is why he didn't get the respect. It's a different question. If you Tyler asked,
I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you.
Here's why I didn't even get to talk.
He did not get the respect because he didn't deserve it. He hadn't won anything.
But I don't think
that's what I was just about to say. That's what I'm talking about. Jalen Hurts, up until this point, hasn't won. So when Tyler keeps going back to a thing that I said 6 years ago, when Jalen Hurts first came on and holds it to that thing, it's a different story today because he won a Super Bowl. So now it's like, okay, now he won a Super Bowl. So it's a different answer, or it's a different type of thing.
But John, can I talk now? Is it okay?
Sure.
This has been a climb. Just like these other quarterbacks, right? You talk about some of the others, the Joe Burrows. He came out, he won a championship at LSU. So he came with all the glitz and glory, right? Jalen didn't have all that. He had to earn the respect. He had to earn everything that he's gotten going up the ladder. And you and I have talked and argued about this point till I was blue in the face, because you never thought he could throw the quarterback the right pass in the right situation, and he's learned to become that quarterback.
And this year, I've said that.
Well, it just didn't happen this year. We went through growing pains with this kid, and I'll be the first to admit it. So now he's in a class with the other top quarterbacks in this league, and it's not just you. It's already ESPN, and it's already all the others on the NFL channel, that he's a good quarterback, but he still is not in the Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes category. So when does he get there? When he adds another Super Bowl to his bucket list?
Well, let's put it this way: does it really matter if he's not that caliber? If you rank those guys as a quarterback higher than him, it doesn't matter if he's winning. It doesn't matter if he's the 20th ranked quarterback in people's mind, if you want to say it. But if he's no, let me finish. If he could be ranked 20th, but if he's winning, it doesn't matter. Like, you might have guys that have better talent, but they didn't win. Those guys might have, is what everybody's saying, is they have better talent than Jalen, but Jalen wins, and the team wins. Just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady, when he won his first few games, the Super Bowls, it was, the defense won it for him. Well, guess what? Now he's the greatest quarterback ever.
Well, he does have 7 rings. So
but what I'm saying is, but this is how it started. So Jalen Hurts could be the same thing. We could be talking about this in 15 years from now, and that Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback. But because they won, it's not because of the talent. You're still going to have, Josh Allen would be better talent wise than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady won. So it's a different category. Just, you don't have to be the best quarterback that wins, because everybody says that about Patrick Mahomes.
I disagree with you, because it's all about the quarterback in the National Football League.
Well, yeah, but
it's the highest paid position, and it's the quarterback that everybody looks at. When they don't win, they take the most heat. When they win,
because they get all the credit, right? Exactly, because they have the ball in their hand the most. But what the whole point is, you change, you evolve, you got better. That's great. I've said that. But again, it takes him from where he might have been the 20th something rank, and now he's up into the top 10. It doesn't mean that because he's in the top 10 he sucks. That's not what I'm saying.
Poor Tyler. That's all I got to say. Poor Tyler has to.
The whole point is it doesn't matter. The team won. The team won. It's all about the getting the Super Bowl at the end.
100%. I think that's what we're arguing about.
But that doesn't make him, just because he won the Super Bowl overnight, he's the greatest quarterback now.
But I don't think anyone said that.
He is this year.
Well, your dad is. That's what I'm going with.
My dad will tell you that anybody who plays for Philadelphia is the greatest thing ever. That's the type of fan that he is.
I know. That's why this conversation keeps going around. That's why he keeps getting in the face.
I also am confused by your question, John, and I am trying to truly understand it. So you want to put Joe Burrows or Josh Allen on this team and see what happens and see how good of a quarterback they are. But then how does that disprove that Jalen Hurts still isn't a good quarterback? Like, I don't understand that argument.
Well, he at the time when we were talking about this before, he wasn't throwing stuff the way he throws now, and if you still want to think about it, he still doesn't throw in the middle of the field as much, and it's nitpicking. But he's. I've also said, yeah, but I have also said he's the best thrower in football to throw in the deep ball as well. But nobody wants to listen to that part. But that comment just came out like week 6 or 7. No, it hasn't.
That just happened. Tyler, back me up, buddy.
No, it hasn't.
I got Tyler.
But I'm just saying he's got his things. But it's not even a matter of you put him on this team. But it's just a matter of if you just look at the talent of passing the football, he's just not. He doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have this. And again, it doesn't matter. Joe Montana didn't have the greatest arm strength, but he won Super Bowls. It's so it's just a matter of how you want to look at it. And people, if you're starting a pickup game, you're not picking Jalen Hurts ahead of some of those other just off of talent.
Well, that didn't happen. That didn't happen coming out of college, and that's why he's got a chip on his shoulder. That's why he had a frown on his face all the time, because he got no respect. Even when they won 10 in a row, he still wasn't getting any respect. He was in Philadelphia from the fans, but he wasn't getting it nationally, because all you heard about was the other guys, because they're, all their ratings and all their percentages were so much higher, and then all of a sudden things had a funny way of balancing out. And then all of a sudden, those guys aren't even in the playoffs. And now here comes the kid out of Washington, and he's going to unseat somebody. You know what I mean? And you got who's the other kid quarterback out in Denver, Bo Nix. You've got these young kids, that are rolling in. So it's an argument that we can continue to have. It's a good argument. It's a solid argument.
I don't understand why it exists, though. I don't understand the argument in a nutshell, because Jalen Hurts isn't the only guy on the team. This is a team sport. This isn't a one-on-one guy. So correct. On one hand, a quarterback should be able to make plays happen and put his guys in position to make those things happen. And I think Jalen Hurts is able to do that most of the time. I also think that even without talent, a good quarterback can still make things happen, which I think Jalen is also able to do. But this argument of top 5 or top 10 or who's the best quarterback, I mean, there's no real way to rank that. And you'll argue about this till you're blue in the face, because anybody on here would argue who the best quarterback is of all time, because there's so many different answers. There's so many different opinions based on how you judge that quarterback ranking. I think at the end of the day, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl on Sunday, and now all of a sudden we're arguing about whether or not Jalen Hurts is any good.
No, it's because Tyler's got to start the pot. That's all.
No,
but it's just, that's a Philadelphia fan in a nutshell, and that's why people hate us. People hate us because we can't appreciate anything for more than 48 hours.
Right.
I mean, we're already tearing this guy apart, and they just got done cleaning up the confetti in New Orleans. And we've already decided that, maybe this was it. This was a one-shot dream,
Did you get any confetti
for this team? I'm just saying, I think there's plenty of off-season to talk about whether or not Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, and I didn't think this show would be the one where we had to break down who was good and who wasn't. I thought we were going to take that moment to appreciate what the team did for us on Sunday before we decide if he's top 5.
Hey, I'm just here defending my birds, that's all.
I understand that, and you will defend them until your absolute last breath, and maybe sometimes to a fault. But what I'm saying is, there's a time and a place for everything. And talking about Jalen Hurts being good or not, this ain't it right now.
Right.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay. We just got smacked in the mouth.
Well, it's not. It's not. They just won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
They're fans. If Anthony was here right now, he would be appalled at the guy who has seen two playoff games in his lifetime for the Pirates. He tells me all the time, all I want is one World Series, and that's it. And you'll never hear me talk about it.
We said that in 2017, and here we are. We're right back at it again, baby.
Well, that's Philly fans in a nutshell, and that's why most of the country hates us, because we don't appreciate anything for more than 24 hours.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't agree with it, because
this show tonight is a perfect example of that. We couldn't even go a full hour saying nice things.
I haven't said anything nasty.
Well, you would never say anything nasty. That's the whole point. But
why am I being thrown under the bus?
You're not
I'm
being
here
thrown
to-
under the bus, but
because
you're
you're
arguing
asking,
about
you're
whether
asking
or
the
not
question. You're
anyone is
asking the
any
question.
good.
Well, because it's part of the conversation already on Tuesday morning. You know what I mean? They're breaking down, the top 5 teams already. And there the Eagles are, you know what I mean, barely in the top 5 after winning the Super Bowl. So I'm not the national media here by no means.
Well, no,
You know what I mean?
No, but the whole thing was we were talking good stuff about Jalen today.
Johnny wants to trade Hurts for Josh Allen.
No, thank you.
No, I like I said a few minutes ago. I think Jalen has it took him a while. It took him a while to get to where he's at,
but it didn't though. It didn't though. It didn't take that long. The guy's first year in the league. What year was it?
19?
21.
Was it
21?
21?
Okay. 2 years later, he takes you to the goddamn Super Bowl. And 2 years after that, he wins it for you. I mean, that shows you that he can evolve and become a good quarterback, and he's not stuck in his ways. Josh Allen, on the other hand, had a chance to beat the Chiefs in Buffalo, might I add, and still lost.
Yep.
He didn't put the team on his back. He didn't get them to that next level. So, no, Josh Allen, I also think, has been in the league longer than Jalen Hurts. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Might be a year or so.
Okay. But what I'm saying is Jalen has progressed, and he's shown that he can learn and evolve. And if anything, the leaked background screen where it's him losing in the Super Bowl 2 years ago shows you that he wanted that more than anything, and he proved that to everybody on Sunday. So he has learned and evolved. And to sit here and say that maybe Josh Allen or Joe Burrows would have done a better job, I think, frankly, is a bunch of crap. That doesn't mean they're not good quarterbacks. But there are teams out there that would give everything to have a Jalen Hurts. And here we are talking about whether or not he's the right guy.
Not according to that guy.
He has evolved. It took him 4 years from coming into the league to win a Super Bowl. There are thousands of quarterbacks that never get to say that. This conversation right here is why most of the world hates Philadelphia fans.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
100%.
I don't agree with that.
You would never agree with that. But that's the truth of the matter. We don't know how to appreciate anything.
It's climbing the light poles and tearing the city apart.
No, we don't know how to appreciate anything. All we can do is point out the bad. That's what we do as a fan base. We point out the bad.
See where you started, John?
I didn't start it. Tyler did.
Remember when we were talking about how there were so many good things that happened on Sunday? There were so many great stories and great headlines about it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was perfect. I mean, you also got to live in as it goes. It's a matter of when a guy's career is going, it's going to your opinions are going to change all the time. And again, it doesn't matter. I don't care if he's the 20th.
Entire city thought Nick Sirianni was absolutely fucking nuts when he was talking about planting flowers and where they were going to bloom and growing where you bloom and all that nonsense shit from a couple years ago. Now, that guy will never buy another beer in the city of Philadelphia again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
it's all about growing and evolving. And what I learned from that is those guys were young. They don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know till you realize you don't know it. Well, and they figured it out as they went along. And that, to me, is proof of a good leader and proof of somebody who wants to evolve and learn and be better and win. And that's what they did.
Absolutely. I agree. And again, the ranking doesn't matter because
it's a storyline. That's all it is. It's a storyline to get people talking.
Exactly. Was Nick Foles the number one quarterback in football?
Yes.
In 17?
Now there's another argument.
Well,
there we go.
I mean, you go down the list of quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter that if they were number one or not. The team won. That's all that matters. I mean, the Eagles team this year. I said this also to Tyler as well. They're probably the best football team in football history.
Hey, when can we have this Tyler guy on the show?
Oh, whenever.
We need to have this Tyler guy on the show because he might be somebody we need to talk to directly.
He's just like you. You can't say anything bad about the Eagles. So I mean,
that's totally no.
It's totally true.
I'm just here supporting my guys. That's all.
No, but the whole point is again,
if there's a street fight, I'm in it. So.
Well, yeah, but the point is, you're having a conversation, and again, just because of every player on the Eagles aren't ranked number one, it doesn't matter. They're fucking number one world Super Bowl champions.
Wow. Whoa! I don't think I ever heard John say the F word before.
Whoa!
Yeah. Well, it says I say it a lot.
Get kicked off the air.
But I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts could be the 50th ranked quarterback in football history right now. It doesn't matter. He won the Super Bowl.
And he's going to Disney World.
Right, exactly.
I think what it boils down to, though, that's the most frustrating thing is just sort of that lack of respect.
Right.
That lack of appreciation for what he has done and what he has brought to the table. I think that's what it stems from. I know it doesn't theoretically matter, and that's what, he probably tells himself. But to not be involved in those conversations, to not be brought up, to kind of be not picked first or like the last guy to be picked, that's frustrating because there's just that respect isn't there. But the media, the national media has never given Philadelphia that level of respect.
Right.
Especially with the Eagles for some reason. The Phillies, they have no problem with. Bryce Harper's the greatest thing ever in the history of the world. They have no problem with that. But when it comes to the Eagles, for some reason, I don't know if it's because they weren't good for so long.
Probably.
That, the NFC East was primarily dominated by the Cowboys for so long, the Giants for a while, that they sort of forgot we were here. But I just don't think the national media really appreciates the Eagles and especially Jalen Hurts and what he brings to the table. So I think that's where it stems from.
How pathetic is it when your center, your retired center gets more attention, than the current Eagles. And I'm still talking about Jason Kelce. You know what I mean? And all the attention that he, brings to the table, And, that's just a sidebar to the whole conversation that we're still talking about Jason Kelce.
Yeah, but again, you're living in a different world today because you won the Super Bowl. Like you haven't won the Super Bowl except for 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Like
yeah, but like Lauren said, you were in it 2 years ago. You know what I mean? You've been, you started this whole process with a young, immature coach that nobody liked, right? We had the same deal with Doug Peterson back when they hired him as well. Like, he was the fourth choice. Nobody even knew who he was other than he was a clone of Andy Reid, right? So here we are again. But we got to the finish line.
Right. But again, using Doug Peterson's comments, he showed himself to be a buffoon afterwards. He hasn't been the same since that 1 year. So again, it doesn't matter. Like, just enjoy what you got right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is my point. That's my whole. But I'm saying, but that's the whole point. It doesn't matter if somebody's not the top five, the top whatever. It doesn't matter. He's a Super Bowl champion. Enjoy it. Stop with worrying about what ranking he is.
And I was going to ask you if you had a rant, but I think we.
Well, I wouldn't have until Knucklehead Tyler got on here today.
Wait a minute! Whoa,
I mean, it is all Tyler's fault. I mean, there's no denying.
And then you just had to feed into it because the two of you are two peas in a pod. You can't say anything bad about it and Eagles. You know,
Tyler, I got your back, buddy. I'll go to war with you. Don't worry about it.
But again, just because you're saying something, not. Oh my God, he's down on your knees, with them. It's not something wrong. Just pointing out that Jalen Hurts may not be the best quarterback in football doesn't mean that the guy's a clown. If he's a clown, I'll tell him he's a clown.
You've done that a few weeks.
Well, that was years ago.
And sometimes he is a clown. Sometimes he is. Sometimes he doesn't make a good pass. And sometimes Nick Sirianni decides to go for 2 after every single touchdown, even though they haven't made it.
Right.
And everybody was perfect all the time, then the same team would win the Super Bowl year after year after year.
Right.
I mean, we watched basically Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs melt into a peewee football team on Sunday.
Well, you know what they did? They did the Fumblerooski. The whole game is what they did. That was their play all game long. It was amazing
because, not to go back to it, but you want to talk about top 5 quarterbacks. I don't think anybody would disagree that Patrick Mahomes is in that top 5 quarterback caliber.
Exactly.
And he looked like absolute dog shit on Sunday.
Right.
That guy couldn't make anything happen. Not one play. And no, you're right. He doesn't have very great talent around him, but he makes good things happen because he's a good quarterback. But he looked horrible. I mean, the whole team looked horrible on Sunday.
Well, that's my whole point. I mean, as far as when I say put this quarterback on this team, what would you say differently? Like, and again, everybody keeps saying Josh Allen hasn't won anything. This person hasn't won anything. Yeah, because they don't have a team.
So let's just be thankful that we do.
Right, and then that's my whole point exactly. But when you talk to Carl and you talk to Tyler, if you say anything about the Eagles, then you're an idiot about it. Like it just. That's
a Philadelphia fan in a nutshell.
I never called you an idiot. That's totally false.
You're pretty close to it, but
that's totally false. And I'm sure Tyler hasn't either.
Oh no, Tyler has.
Well, I'm sure Tyler has.
Tyler definitely has.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Total respect. He knows his football, and he's just trying to make a point. That's all. No. You're not wrong. No, Tyler, I got you, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But no, it's let's enjoy the Eagles.
Hey, they just won on the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Did they win the Super Bowl? I'm not sure.
I heard.
And the parade's on Friday.
It sure is.
Exactly.
But I know
he's still throwing fuel on the fire.
Oh, I know.
He wants to talk about Lamar and the Ravens.
Yeah.
and that team down there who's got no talent. Oh.
So they don't have a complete team.
I don't know.
That's a hard thing to accomplish.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
That's a hard thing to have a complete team.
That's
offense,
my whole
defense,
point with everything.
Special teams, kickers. I mean, it's hard to have a complete team. It's really hard to win the Super Bowl.
Well,
that's not an easy thing to do. I think you said it early on, about all the games that we played this year and all the close games. And they were nail biters. We would come on here that Wednesday and we'd be like, oh, I can hear the comments now. A win's a win.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
That's what we said all season. And we knew that the talent was there, but for some reason they couldn't get it to click on all cylinders. But the good teams click when it matters most.
Well, we read the book. We all read the book.
Interaction.
You know what I mean?
I didn't read anything, but I can imagine what it sounded like.
The big influence. So we read the book. So we're all.
Speaking of AJ, and I know we have to wrap up here in a minute, but
I hope you're going to cover this story because that was very cool.
Okay, well, we can talk about that. But the thing I am going to talk about, I didn't think was very cool. Did you guys see his post about winning?
No.
Yeah. He's over it.
He's basically like, well, that was fun, and I'm glad we won, but I'm over it.
Yeah. What?
Already? He's worse than us.
He's already over it. He basically said that he likes the chase more than he does the win. Being in the hunt is what he prefers than winning. And he's basically just like, and now it's back to work again.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. Yeah, because he was all about the, everybody told him how great it was going to be once you become a Super Bowl champion, and he's like, it was okay, for 2 days, and then, now he's over. Oh, you got it there.
After a few days, I've had time to reflect on being a champion. I tried to feel how everyone made it seem to be a champion, and unfortunately, it was short-lived. 2 days to be exact. LOL. I've never been a champion at the highest level before, but I thought my hard work would be justified by winning it all. It wasn't. My thrill for this game comes when I dominate. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when the DB drops his head and surrender because he can't F with me. The intense battles, early mornings, late night sacrifices. I love putting smiles on people's faces, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what I thought it would be. It's the journey that I love most. Back to work.
Dynasty, baby, dynasty.
I mean, like we said, they are the best. They're like I said, they're the best team in football.
Come on, Jalen, throw me the ball. Get me the ball. Let's go.
They're the best team in football ever. Ever.
What do you
I was really disappointed with.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I was
just disappointed with his reaction. And Tyler, I get it that he's locked in, and Devontae Smith said the same thing, and I get it, but I was just.
Who's this Retreat Parm guy? Good listen on the way home.
I can only imagine his commentary after this show.
Retreat Parm guy. He wants to throw shit on us now too.
No, he said it's a good listen.
We just won the Super Bowl, damn it.
He just said it's a good listen.
No one's throwing shit. But I just was like, come on, AJ. Like that's what you worked so hard. You came here from the Titans. We're gonna win anything there.
Right.
And that's what you have to say. It was like somebody sucked the helium right out of the balloons. I was like, oh, okay. Why even have a parade Friday?
I'm back on the air, Tyler, the 26th. You're invited on the show.
Retreat Parm also said he's anonymous.
Is it? Well, because Retreat Parm didn't say we were the best. We were the best, so that's why Carl got upset.
Retreat Parm would say, "Be happy."
I was going to talk about Cabrana Hayes today too. He changed his swing. He came into camp early. He looks great. Let's talk Bucks. Come on, then he no-shows me. I can't have that. I can't have that. Pitchers and catchers reported today. This
has got to be like the best day in the history of the world, right?
Right.
The Eagles just won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And pitchers and catchers reported today.
Right. Right.
And it doesn't get much better than this. The Sixers are on and they're currently losing. What could be better?
Well, we've just about abolished that team. So you can, they're done. But
if I had to do a rant, it was about that because now Embiid's got to get knee surgery again. So
just put that guy out to pasture.
Just shoot him.
Put him out of his misery, huh?
If he was a horse,
he's like a racehorse that's not performing anymore. You got to
pasture, huh?
Put him out to pasture.
Send him to the glue factory.
Oh, John, I work for the Humane Society.
Oh, sorry, but still, got to send them out.
But the story you were talking about, Dad, was that AJ Brown made good on his promise and went to see that kid in the hospital who was hit by some of the flying shrapnel of the plane that crashed in Northeast Philadelphia.
In the hospital with the family today and
brought the trophy.
Yep, brought the trophy. Brought him a nice package of Super Bowl swag. Great job by everybody.
AJ's the best. In that when it comes to kids and stuff like that.
Well, that's what he said. He said he loves putting smiles on people's faces. So even though, he might not be as jazzed about winning as maybe he thought he would, it's probably stuff like that really kind of makes it
absolutely.
100%. Next week we'll be at our popular watering hole and wing eating location, Buffalo Wild Wings. Yep. And we're bringing Chris Jenkins along with us. Interesting fun fact about Chris: he was at the Super Bowl, so we'll break him down and get his opinion of what it was like. He's a big Eagles fan, so looking forward to that a whole lot.
Absolutely.
I wonder if he thinks Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback.
Well, we'll get his opinion, and I'm sure John will have a list of questions for him.
I'm going to tell him before the show to tell me he's number one, because Carl will get on your case if not. So
that is not true.
He's 1+.
I've never said that, and he
did have a shirt on in Disney World that said "Breed of One."
Yeah. What is that?
Like he's the only kind. Breed of one. Kind of like my other favorite quarterback, Carson Wentz. He was audience of one. This is similar to that.
I was just going to ask that.
Although he's referring to God, meaning only God is his audience, and that's all that matters. But in Jalen's case, he's breed of one, meaning he's one of one.
Wow. All right. Well,
in his opinion, there's only one, John. He's the one.
Oh, I know.
He's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this team. You haven't even responded to that when I said that the Eagles are the best team in NFL history.
Well, there was a comment by one Tyler O'Brien.
Yeah,
did I just hear my dad say something good about the Eagles?
I've said plenty of stuff, and the kid's an ass. he is. He's just being an ass right now. It's annoying, because I said this stuff to him all the time. All he wants to do is just like you, just listens to the one parts that you hear, the one negative parts about it.
I don't know why I keep getting thrown under the bus.
Because it's the same thing.
I'm just a fan.
Because you're bringing up points from before that have been talked about, and things are different, and you don't talk about that. I said that he does stuff good. So it's all.
He said he learned from the best.
I'm sure he did.
and you don't think Tyler's called John an idiot if he just called him an I can guarantee you he's called him an idiot. There might have been an F word in front of it.
Well, I was just going to say, you said you don't think you heard me say the F word. Well, when Tyler and I say it, we talk. We have a lot of F words going back and forth, and afterwards as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's all in love, but
all right. It was a good half show. What can I tell you? Then the rails fell off.
Well, yeah. I mean, until Tyler popped on, it was a great show.
Tyler, I am not blaming you, buddy. Don't. That's all your dad. That's all him.
Yeah.
That's the guy in the blue shirt.
It's the guy in the blue shirt. That's right.
All right. So, yeah.
Anthony, did you see that Cabrana Hayes has a new swing?
I saw they said we were going to talk about it. I wrote someone I heard wrote liar on there.
What did he say?
He's calling you out, saying that you're a liar, that you were going to talk Buccos baseball with him.
100%.
Oh, so he's retreat Parm?
No, I saw that.
No, he said he saw that post.
Oh, you saw that post. Gotcha. That's one of Tyler's friends, right?
Definitely.
Probably.
He definitely.
Tyler's been at one of the bars for a little bit too early.
Farm would think that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback.
Retreat Farm would.
Retreat Farm would, he said.
Tyler's an ass.
And he doesn't think Tyler's an ass.
Oh, Tyler's definitely an ass.
See?
He's been at Pickles a little bit too long today.
Man, the rails have really fell off this show. Let me tell you that.
Yes. Tyler, good for you. Have another beer, buddy. God bless you. Be safe. Hope you're walking back to your apartment. So
exactly. He is.
Hope he doesn't have to get home anytime soon.
Right.
John ain't coming to get him.
Nope.
Thank you, everybody. It was a great half show.
This show is not going to age well. That's all I know.
All I can see is that the numbers are up a lot. The numbers are up a lot. So this is one of the best shows ever. So
you can't. Yeah. There is already the best damn show. So we can't steal that one.
No, I didn't say it. That's why I didn't say it.
That's a dumb name anyway.
All right. As Tony just said, good night, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. If you're going to the parade, send me some pictures.
Okay.
I'd love to put a photo album together. It's been a phenomenal week.
Does that mean you're going, Lauren?
Yeah.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
There you go. And if anybody's interested, we'll have two-time Super Bowl champ Brandon Graham back to Carl's Cards on February 23rd. That contract's already signed, sealed, and delivered. And we're working on a couple other possibilities.
Couple teammates.
I wonder if he thinks Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback.
We'll ask. Well, John will definitely.
Do you think he'll tell him the story about Deuce Staley, or has he already heard it?
He probably already has heard that.
He probably did, yeah, the last time he was here.
That's like the #1 story all time.
It is, absolutely, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely is.
All right.
And the funny thing is, I don't even bring it up. The players, kind of bring it in and talk about different things, and it all leads right to it. So it's like makes it the greatest story ever.
I'm not sure about that, John, but I don't have time to argue with you.
Well, no, but who was just here? Fred Barnett was asking who has the simplest autograph.
They do ask that sometimes, who's got the worst or the best autograph. So that does happen sometimes. I will agree, but
because they'll all ask, especially once you get the older guys in here, they're like, man, the kids today, you see their autographs, and I'm like, well, let me got you.
Don't you worry.
I got you all top.
I got a story for you.
Exactly. That's where it all comes about. So everybody brings it up.
The best was when Shady was in the store. He got them all on the phone.
Yeah, he had them texting back and forth.
Oh, my God. Hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Hey, great show. It's past my bedtime. I got to go. You got to go.
Yeah.
Great show. See you next week, Buffalo Wild Wings. Show starts 6:00. We're live with Chris Jenkins, and I can't wait to hear some Super Bowl stories from New Orleans.
Sounds great.
See you guys. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.